friends, how are you this evening? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to come to you very quickly to talk to you about basically a story time on how we got here with the technology that has helped to create the multimedia experience. I started making these videos on this phone, and I have made almost 600 videos on this phone. I started just making them very quickly. Most of them, I think, were shorts, but I did not edit them. I just made them on the fly in one take, and I put them out every once in a while. I remember when I first started, I vowed to do it for 30 days straight, and then I did. And then after that, I posted intermittently for a while about the book and about why I was online and just playing around, honestly, because nobody was watching at that point. I did that all from this cell phone, which was gifted to me by my aunt and her husband when I came back from living in the car the first time. And I then moved on once I left my family and was staying in the Airbnbs. That is when I was publishing the book. Now, I wrote the book on an Apple computer from the 1990s, an Apple laptop, or it was the early 2000s. It might have been the late 90s or the early 2000s, that my mom let me use. I typed it on some sort of notes app on there, and then I transferred it to a computer that I purchased while I was living in the Airbnbs. I purchased this computer from Walmart for a couple $100. And I got a trial of Microsoft Office. So that gave me Microsoft Word. So I was able to transfer the manuscript onto that computer and format it for Word so that I could send it to the woman who was formatting it for publication for me. And all of that was done on a computer that was the coolest one with the best price from Walmart on the fly. And so those two pieces of equipment, this cell phone that was gifted to me, and then the computer that I ran and got for a couple $100. And it has gotten us very, very far, I think, all things considering. And I'm very grateful for the technology. And it has been really interesting. Also, I wanted to note, for those of you who don't know already, I started writing the book by hand. So we went very analog, almost archaic with the technology when I wrote the book Dark World Light Work. And the rest of the multimedia experience is very light on the media. And that also honestly speaks on the brand, because I'm not a media person. I'm not a consumer in that way. But everything about the whole Dark World Lightwork experience is as bare bones as you can get. I wrote the book with my hand and composition notebooks, and I have a cell phone and a computer. And the computer is like a budget and everything. And with that, I take my own creativity and my own magic and my own spark, and I create something that I do hope and do believe when I look back on it is pretty cool. So I'm grateful for that. And it is just an interesting journey. And I know that soon and at some point there will be a monumental upgrade. And I will love to look back on these videos. Hold on. When I don't know if I was a teen yet. I cannot remember. Maybe I was a teen. I went to a film festival. I used to go to film festivals all the time when I was younger. And I got to see the first episode of South Park. The first one that they did. Like the absolute first one. It was like a Christmas special. And it was so incredible to see how rudimentary the animation, whole thing that they were doing. And I love that they didn't stray too far from that, the creators of South Park. Even to this day, they kept it very similar, but it's even more raw, like the first episode, because it is the very first one. And the early episodes of some things like that, especially things that have animation or things that talk about current events, when you look back on them, they're very, very interesting. So that will be fun to look back on these videos, especially once we go for the big upgrade. Oh, yay, yay. Anyway, so that is all I have to say, but that is the tale of technology with the Dark World Lightwork multimedia experience. I'll be right back.